We'll open the public hearing on Senate Bill 169 and ask the prime sponsor to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, members of Senate Finance. For the record, my name is Sharon Carson, and I have the pleasure of representing Senate District 14, comprising the towns of Londonderry, Hudson, and Auburn. And I have this afternoon for your consideration Senate Bill 169 FNA, making an appropriation to the Department of Environmental Services to fund a water main interconnection project between Nashua and Litchfield. Mr. Chairman, I am sure that, as many of you are aware, communities across the state have been grappling with PFAS contamination in their drinking water. Londonderry has been impacted not only by St. Gobain, but other smaller releases throughout the community, contaminating the groundwater, which of course is the source of drinking water for anyone on a well. The bill before you makes an appropriation to the Department of Environmental Services to construct a transmission line from Nashua across the Merrimack River and into Litchfield, along with the associated infrastructure, including a booster pump station. This critical component will enable the build-out of a water system in Londonderry to get people off of the contaminated wells and into a safe public drinking water system, and is sized to be able to bring water to meet the current needs, but to facilitate future growth and to address additional contamination in surrounding communities as well. Pennachuck Waterworks, which own the line and owns the networks on both ends of this transmission line, is a unique entity in the state, as it is a company entirely owned by a municipality. It's also regulated by the Public Utilities Commission, which sets rates and allows recovery for costs. Pennachuck is unable to recover costs until the infrastructure is used and useful to the existing ratepayers. This means that for the prospective infrastructure investments like this one, typically requires a demonstration that new customers are committed to being served. Communities are often unwilling to commit to projects before the supply is available, but Pennachuck can't construct anything until users commit, leading to a stalemate. This funding will break that stalemate by funding construction of that transmission line. I'd also like to make it clear that this bill does not let St. Gobain off the hook for any of the contamination they cause or to clean up their mess. St. Gobain and other polluters must and will be held accountable for their actions and pay for the remediation efforts. This bill, again, is about getting a source of clean, safe drinking water to Londonderry and surrounding communities. I know that the Department of Environmental Services is here and can speak to the finer details of the project, but I'll try to answer any question that you might have. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Questions from the committee? Senator Rosenwald.
Is there someone from Pennachuck who's planning to testify?
Not that I see on the list. Oh, somebody.
Okay, then I'll hold my question.
Okay. Senator Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, do you have any idea of the amount of water that would be required to sustain this project? I know that Manchester is sending 3 million gallons a day south. Is this project consistent with that number, or tell me where the number is, because you're going to be taking water from the river, I believe.
Correct.
So,
Senator, thank you for the
downstream,
question.
yeah.
I can't answer that question because I have not been given an estimate, although I was told that there was a decision made not to get the water from Manchester Waterworks in Lake Massapequa because of the amount of water they use and the amount of water that is now being taken to fund other communities.
Right.
So that's why they went with Pennachuck.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Chairman.
welcome.
Seeing no additional questions, thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
And we have the representative from Litchfield. Welcome, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the rest of the members of the committee. I appreciate being here today. For the record, my name is Representative Rich Lascelles. I represent Litchfield. I'm just beginning my 4th term as a representative, and I also have the pleasure and honor of being a selectman in Litchfield. I come here today, even though I know nothing about this bill. I'm here to learn as much as I can and to make sure that I represent the people of Litchfield. If you drive up the Charles Bancroft Highway, either north or south, you pass through a beautiful bucolic area that we're all very proud of. You see farms and older homes, and it's just a beautiful area that I'm very proud of. It's hard to believe that up in the hills, there's housing developments, and Litchfield right now has a population of almost 9,000 people. It's hard to believe that when you drive along Route 3A or you take a wrong turn out of the airport and end up in the farm country. But we all know that water is life. We can all agree with that. In Litchfield, we have 3 problems with water. One is sometimes the quality is not real good because of presence of manganese and so forth. Secondly, we have the whole PFAS situation with Saint-Gobain. Litchfield is right on the border with Saint-Gobain. And the third thing is the cost of water. People in Litchfield pay some of the highest water rates in the state. And what's particularly troubling is the fact that a lot of people in Litchfield used to be on wells, and they didn't have a water bill. Saint-Gobain came along, they had to go on city water, and now they have a huge water bill that they have to pay. We recently, Pennachuck East asked for a rate increase, and they asked for 22%, and they got 22%, which was particularly troubling for ratepayers in Litchfield. So as far as this bill goes and the project as a whole, I can't say really whether I'm here for it or against it. I know we need more water. I'm just simply here to make sure that the people of Litchfield their interests are protected. And I'm troubled, I have to say that I'm troubled that this project snuck up on me as a selectman, me as a state rep. Our town administrator knew nothing about it. It snuck up on us. So I'm troubled by that, but I've got a thick skin. I'm not going to be too worried about it. But as we go forward, you can bet that I'm going to keep my eye on this legislation.
Well, we're going to have the commissioner come up right after you, so maybe he can answer some of those questions. Are there questions from the other senators on the committee? Senator D.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm really troubled by your statement because the people have been crying for water. I mean, that's been a problem for an extended period of time. And yet you knew nothing about the fact that this piece of legislation.
Senator D, I think we can handle that question offline.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Oh, sure. Okay. Thank you. I'm just.
I always.
Representative?
Yes.
I'm going to let you respond directly to him offline. If you
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Any additional questions? Thank you. And Commissioner?